Hello, all you happy people. How you guys doing out there? Marvin and Kid here coming to you again. Back again for another comic review. Back again to get together with my great fandom. Back to get back again to get together with my people, in a sense. um, this is episode 94. Countdown still going. Um, to the 100th live episode. This week was good for comics, guys. Very good, in my opinion. I enjoyed it very much. As you can see in the back, I put up the 4 turtle figures that my good friend Blue Goblin got me. I thought it'd be really cool to put them right there. I wasn't going to take them out the boxes. I'll just leave them in there. Got Leo, Mikey, Donnie, Raph, Donnie, and Donnie's the last one. But once again, I'd like to thank him and my sis Jen for the gifts. All right, so we move on to the comics, and I got a good, decent amount. I got some from Marvel, DC, and Independent. So we're gonna kick it off in Independent. And we're gonna kick it off with us this may be a shock to you guys, but I said when this crossover starts, I'm all over it. And we're talking about none other than Worlds Collide, the Mega Man Sonic crossover. It starts off in Mega Man. This is Mega Man issue number 24 of Sonic and Mega Man, Rockman, both Blue Bombers crossing over. From Archie Comics. This was fun. This is it started off as your typical crossover with 2 heroes. Actually, the 2 heroes are fighting each other, Sonic and Mega Man. While their respective arch enemies are watching it and gloating over it. It's like, yeah, go Sonic. You got Dr. Wily saying, go you blue furry, take out the Mega Man, and you got Dr. Eggman saying, yeah, Mega Man, take out the furry nuisance. It was kind of funny. The chemistry between Dr. Wily and Eggman is really funny. But it gets into a point of they're trying to figure out how they're able to cross over into Sonic and Mega Man's world. But pretty much it's the first start of this crossover is the 2 main characters going at it. Sonic trying to hit Mega Man. Sonic's faster than Mega Man, but Mega Man can take it. He's doing this spin dash, hitting him, and Sonic's like, man, this guy can take it, and Mega Man coming back. They did a lot of their traditional acrobatic style, like Mega Man sliding under things. It was really funny. It just was if you're a Mega Man fan and Sonic fan, you grew up with these characters, then yeah, you're gonna love it. It is really good. This is part 1 of a 12-part crossover that's gonna go from Mega Man's comic into Sonic's comics, and I'm all over this. I was like, yeah, I gotta show some love and respect to these 2 great video game characters. So yeah. So now we move on into Dynamite. The rest of the Independent are all from Dynamite. Dynamite being one of my favorite independent companies. And we'll kick it off with Green Hornet number 34. They've changed the name to Green Hornet Legacy. This was the Green Hornet title that was going on before Mark Waid's. This is the one that was started by Kevin Smith. Alright. So you got 2 Green Hornets on the cover. The original Britt Reed's son, Britt Reed Jr. right here, the original Green Hornet. That's his son right here. And this is the new Green Hornet that took his place when he thought Britt Reed was dead. Britt Reed Jr. was dead. So this picks up right where that leaves off. And Britt is coming out of the hospital. He's got to find what's going on. He's trying to get his bearings because he's been in a coma for like 2 months now, and he doesn't know what's going on. But he once he figured out what's going on, he realized that this new Green Hornet, who was one of his allies who took up, is kind of going about things the wrong way. He's doing a lot of things wrong, trying to protect Century City, and it's causing a backlash into it. A lot of hardcore players are coming into the mix, and they're causing trouble for Century City. So it's up to Britt Reed Jr., the original Green Hornet, to confront his ally and be like, yo, what's going on? Like, why are you don't do this? You're going about this the wrong way. But it's pretty good. It was written by Jay Nix and artwork by Jethro Morales. Pretty good. All right, move on to Lord of the Jungle number 14. Avid Nelson and Roberto Castro's artwork. Roberto Castro's artwork is brilliant. It works so well for Lord of the Jungle. And in this, it's the smackdown that we've all been waiting for. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle versus dang, what was his name again? I'm forgetting his name. Nikolai Rokov, the Russian spy in the city of gold, Opal. And that's the basis of this. We see Tarzan get nitty and gritty, Tarzan style, to take down the Russian, you know, and dish out a little bit of jungle justice. You know what I'm saying? But does Tarzan kill Rokov? Not gonna spoil that. But let's just say now Jane has found out that Tarzan is the true heir to Lord of Greystone. And the reason why Tarzan explains to her why he didn't tell her that, and why he tells her, Jane, I love you. I'm always going to love you. And I loved it. Was so sweet. I mean, I loved it. You know, Jane literally just put her hand over Tarzan's mouth and like, you know, almost like, shh, now shut up and kiss me. And at the end, yeah, typical good ending. Tarzan gets the girl. He gets his Jane. I'll show it to you guys. It's right here. He gets his Jane. So I thought it was nice. But I've been loving what they've been doing with Lord of Jungle. It's really picked up over the last course of the years, course of the issues, and this was the end of the Lord of the Jungle story arc. So we move on to another story arc, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Now we'll move on to Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt number 8. I believe this is a mini series. I don't think it's an ongoing series, but things are not going well for Peter Cannon in his world. He's come across somebody who is able to use the same abilities that he is, and is playing with it, and she's playing with his head, and it's really looking dire for him. This woman is an Egyptian queen from the past that is able to tap into the same abilities that, sorry about that, was my phone, tap into the same abilities that Peter Cannon can, and she's toying with him. But in a sense, it's like a love relationship. She kind of reminded me a little bit of Talia, how she loves Batman, but she knows Batman won't turn to her side of thinking, and that's kind of what is her name? Let me get her name again. Her name again. Her name is Princess Amoset. Here she is, right here. Right? She's playing with Peter's hand, and Steve Durrell and Alex Ross do a good job co-writing this series, and Jonathan Lau, his artwork's really good, very good indeed. And we end it with the Shadow number 11. Oh, that is a beautiful cover. I believe this is Alex Ross's cover. Very nice. The Shadow. This is the end of Shadow's time in Spain, and his battle with the Black Sparrow, this female who knows who he is actually, and is once again a femme fatale is trying to get the Shadow on her side of thinking. But does the Shadow fall for that? We should know the Shadow better than that. No. But it came to a point. It looked like the Shadow was like thinking like, hey, you know what? You may be right. But it's what the Shadow does to her that was just like, oh man. And I'll spoil that for you guys. What he does, not to sell you, like, look, Black Sparrow they're fighting on top of this castle in Spain, and she loses her balance. She's falling, holding on for dear life. What does the Shadow do? He listens to what she says, but unfortunately, off your ass goes into the abyss, and Shadow just throws her off. It's like, I don't, that's my justice. But other than that, I've been loving this series. Another good series. Another fine pulp character, the Shadow. Victor Grishler is doing a good job writing. Taking over from who did he take over for? Geez, I forgot who he took over the writing from. But he's big time. And Aaron Campbell does a good job as artist. So that's all the independent we have. We move on to DC, and I have 4 DC books to cover for you. First off, let's kick it off with my mentor's pick of the week, Batgirl, number 19. And of course, they're doing the open, foil covers, the folded covers. So basically, it says to stop her brother. Must she commit the ultimate crime? That is a nice cover. If you guys can see that. This was good. After reading this, I tweeted Miss Gail Simone and told her, excellent issue. Glad to see you back. And then I put, you sure you want to go this route? Now, I'll tell you why I said that. But I trust Miss Simone. I'm a fanboy. Yes, I trust her. I've always said I believe that they're building. I think Miss Simone is building James Jr. Gordon to be Babs' arch nemesis, enemy, and it would be good. Who better to know her better than her own brother? This was so good. James doesn't come off too creepy, but he does come off. You get to see a gist of what the build-up and the relationship was like for Babs and James growing up. And the only time Barbara even says the only time we really got along was when we would watch movies together, and they're watching this like Michael Myers slasher movie, and James basically ducks his head, and Barbara's like, "Don't be afraid, James," and then he's like, "I'm not afraid of the." He said he doesn't like the slasher because he's sloppy. And I'm going to quote my mentor. What freaking kid talks like that? That's crazy. But in the present, we see a cat and mouse game once again between the siblings. And James tells his mother to meet her at amusement park the last time. In a sense, we saw James smile. And pretty much that's where it gets really interesting in there. And it gets really to the point where even their mother wants to kill James Jr. And it gets really bad there. I'm not going to spoil all of it, but something bad happens, and something more even bad happens between a relationship between the two family members. But other than that, it was really good. We also got to see, I almost forgot about that. We also got to see something between Barbara and her roommate. She let out a secret. They gave tidbits on each other. And one of the tidbits for Barbara, she told her roommate basically that I was shot. You know, I got shot by the Joker. I was paralyzed for a while, everything like that. Her roommate tells the same thing. Tells her, hits her with a bomb. Tells her that I'm transgender. And that was it. It was just like, done. There you go. Bam, splat, bam. Did I mind it? Not really. I didn't mind. I mean, and you shouldn't mind either. But yes, now we know that Barbara's roommate is transgender. And I thought it was good that Barbara opened up to her roommate, because in recent issues, like, they were kind of like still distant from each other. So now they got something to tell each other. Alright. So we move on to Batman number 19. And Bruce Wayne's greatest foe? Commissioner Gordon? James Gordon? Alright. Greg Capullo. Artwork. I like his artwork's good. Scott Snyder. What can I say? Money. I too was confused about this cover because it's Bruce Wayne on the cover with a gun. A gun. When's the last time we saw Batman use a gun? Okay. But this issue does now get to the point, and then I understood it. Just like a lot of people have been saying, a lot of other fellow comic reviewers have been saying. Now I get why they did this. There's a villain in here from Batman's Rogues Gallery, which I won't spoil who it is. It was just like, okay, I get it now. I get it. And that was really good. That story was really good. And then there's a World's Finest story between Batman and Superman. And it's called, it was written by James Tilian IV and artwork by Alex Maleev. And that was fine too. I mean, I guess it's given us a little taste of the coming of Greg Pak's Superman Batman that's coming later in May, I believe. But other than that, this was good for what it was. That it was good to see that villain back. But yeah, very good. All right, and we move on to Green Lantern Corps number 19, and this is part of what is this? Part 10 or 10 of Wrath of the First Lantern. Once again, that word should be obsolete because there ain't no wrath really too much. It's just leeching. But the fall of the court or the rise of Mogo. That is a bitching cover. I love that cover. Peter Tomasi, they all do a good job on this. And basically, the basis of it is the Volhoom, the First Lantern, is torturing, leeching the Corps. And basically, it takes the arrival of their fellow Corps member, Mogul, the planet, to enter the fray and even the odds or put it back in their favor. That's it. That's basically it. What Mogul does in there won't spoil, but it was cool. And basically, it's Mogul telling all the Lantern Corps, get off your asses, get up, get that willpower, and fight on. And take this motherfucker, the First Lantern, down. That's it. That's it. But other than that, it was good to see Mogul again. That was what I did like. Alright? And we'll end this with Ravagers number 11. Last Stand against the horror of the animal, vegetable, mineral man. What a stupid name. So we got Tony Bedard on here. and Michael A. Nelson are co-writing this. So it basically, in the last issue, we saw Deathstroke kill one of the Ravagers. Just gutted him. He was sent by Harvest to kill them. Somehow, Rose Wilson, aka, Ravager, and that god-awful disgrace of a Warblade got inside the Ravagers' secret headquarters. And they are telling them, we're going to take you back and get into good graces with Harvest. But she doesn't know that basically Deathstroke is there. And when they do announce in the book that Deathstroke is her father. And when Deathstroke's about to say it, she says, she cuts him off. She's like, you weren't a better father to me. There's some issues between them. And it's the Ravagers versus Deathstroke and this animal, vegetable, mineral man dude or some shit like that. But it's the cliffhanger at the end, because I know there's not a lot of people that read this book, and there's only one more issue left before it gets canceled. But at the end of the book, it basically is revealed that Fairchild here, Catherine Fairchild, is actually a clone. And there's more of her, and Rose leaves her on a big cliffhanger. How do we know you're the real clone? You're the real, Fairchild. But other than that, it was okay. It was action packed, definitely. Very action packed. You saw Thunder and Lightning back together. Beast Boy, and Terra. They were doing their thing. It was good. So we move on to Marvel, and we'll end it in Marvel. Got a few Marvel books for you. A lot come from Avengers. A majority. Let's put it like this: a majority of what I have in my hand, almost everybody here is an Avenger. Let's put it like that. So we'll kick it off with Age of Ultron, book number 5. Bendis and Hitch still do a good job on that. Hold on for a second. I'll be right back. Let me turn the light on for a second. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. Getting a little dark now. Bendis and Hitch. I like Brian Hitch's artwork. Excuse me. I like Hitch's artwork, guys. But I do agree, he does tend to draw people looking older than they do. And once again in this, the heroes need some kind of hope. They need hope because the world is looking dire right now. The remaining heroes. So they're traveling through the Savage Land, of course, and they meet the old commander of the Howling Commandos himself, Nick Fury. The real Nick Fury, not his son, that's in Secret Avengers, and I'm gonna get to that later. But and he gives them kind of hope. He has all their ammunition. He's got all this stuff backed up because, in a sense, Nick was prepared for this. He knew something was going on, and in there, they realized that they have Doctor Doom's, time. What was it called? His time portal that he uses. So they're thinking of a plan now to go back in time and either tell Hank Pym not to create Ultron or something like that, warn him. And it gets really interesting from there. But the main gist is Wolverine. Logan is like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going back. If we go back, I'm going to kill Hank Pym. I'm going to kill him. No ends, no code of conduct, no code of law. Shink. That's it. And nobody's going to stop me. In a sense, I'm not asking for your permission. That was the final. That was it. Yeah. And we lost 2 individuals. We lost Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk. And we lost Luke Cage. I don't like it. No, I don't. I love Luke. You guys should know me. I love Luke, and seeing him die. I mean, the way he died. I guess it was, exposure, radiation exposure. I mean, like I said, his skin is bulletproof and unbreakable, but it's radiation. That's totally different. But yeah, it's getting dire now. And then we move on to Avengers number 10. Look on the cover, you got Thor, Hulk, Starband, and Hyperion. Jonathan Hickman, Dustin Weaver, and Mike Deodato share artwork. And speaking of Mike Deodato, guys, this week, I tweeted Mike Deodato. I talked to him on Twitter, and I asked him about certain characters he would love to draw. And he tweeted me back. He said stuff like Prince Valiant, Tarzan, people like that. Then I asked him, what about the Turtles? He said, that would be interesting. Then I asked him another question. The question I think all of us have been wanting to ask him. I asked him, Mr. Deodato, why do you draw Norman Osborn looking like Tommy Lee Jones? This was his reply. I thought it was a perfect role for him. There you go. And those are his quotes. That was his answer. The bottom line in this is the Avengers realize that Starbrand here is just too dangerous to be around here. And it does go back all the way back to the first individual, Ex Nihilus, when they fought him on Mars. And a lot of things are going down to the point where they realize that, look, you cannot be here. You're too powerful. You're too dangerous. You're still a kid, and he doesn't know how to control his amazing powers. And that's basically it. But now we also see what Ex Nihilus he's been planning for Earth for the longest. He's trying to make Earth really sentient. And he's planted all kinds of seeds all around Earth in different areas. Croatia, Japan, in the Savage Land, Canada, places like that. And now we're starting to get a sense of this white event and everything like that. But other than that, I loved it. It's science, people. Hickman loves science, and I dig it too. Good stuff. All right. We move on to Avengers Assemble 14. This is an Age of Ultron tie-in. This was written by Al Ewing, and Butch Guice is the artist. All right. This basically is, guys, the gist of what happened to Black Widow. Her eye. How did her eye get like that in Age of Ultron? This is it. So when Black Widow is not being an Avenger, when she's got her days off, you know where she spends her time? She puts time into? She's sitting in the Bay Area, San Francisco. She goes out there all the time to just be normal. She meets up with normal people, talk, chit, chat, blah, and all of a sudden, the invasion hits the Bay Area hard, and things get dire. One of her friends is like robotic himself, and Ultron is able to manipulate him, and I'll show you right now. Let me see, where is it? Her friend named George, he has like a prosthetic arm that's like kind of robotic, and when Ultron takes over, it literally takes him over too, and then of course, she's trying to tell him, take the prosthetic off, take it off, and then pretty much and then all of a sudden he starts saying stuff what Ultron said: submit, perish, or submit or perish. And pretty much she took her eye right out, bam, scratched her eye out, and she has to take out her friend. And that's where she meets up with Moon Knight, and you literally see her right here. It's the end of her with her eye. So that's how her eye got like that. And that was pretty good. It was a decent to understand, okay, where she got that wound from. But yeah, it was really interesting. Very interesting indeed. Fearless Defenders number 3. Cullen Bunn Slimy. I've been loving this series. I'm a huge Valkyrie, huge Misty Knight fan. And I too love the introduction of when our Valkyrie and Misty are talking. So we get an introduction of, in a sense, for all those who never heard of Warrior Woman, you gotta get a glimpse of who she is. Hippolyta of that mascara of Marvel. And man, do we get a lot of banter. It's kind of funny. It's the cultural banter between Norse and Greek mythology, in a sense. Really funny. Valkyrie's like, oh, you bring an Amazon to Asgard, messing with Hela and things like that. We kind of get a glimpse of the purpose of Hela bringing Hippolyta back to life and everything like that. And she's looking around Asgardian. She's like, so this is where my father fell. Her father being Ares and everything like that. She's not impressed. She's just like, you know what, I can do this myself. She's kind of arrogant and brash. But of course, it's the all mothers who get the final say. And they realize that basically to take on the coming of what's coming, we're going to send all of them in. Including, including, what was her name? Annabelle Riggs. That was really funny. But it's just really funny. The chemistry, the like witty banter between Valkyrie and Hippolyta. I'm not calling her Warrior Woman. That is the stupidest cliche name ever. It's so stupid. It's just like Norse and Greek going back and forth. It's so funny. But this series just been really good. Do they find Danny Moonstar? Yes, they do. And then it gets really nitty gritty from there. And I won't spoil any more right there. But I've been loving this series. I can't wait to see the other members of the team. Like I said, I'm praying that we get some. I'm praying. Here's the people I'm looking for on the team. Let's get Hellcat on that team. Let's get Songbird, for God's sakes. Do something more with Melissa Gold instead of just having her with the Thunderbolts. Hopefully, Misty Knight's partner, Colleen Wing, gets on the team. Please, just do some more than just that. All right? So, we move on to Hawkeye, number 9. This is Fraction Ajah. Once again, like I said, I support Hawkeye, not the writer. But I gotta admit, he does a good job on this. Fraction does a good job on writing this. And basically, in a sense, this is all about the redhead that we've met in the past issues. And all of Hawkeye's people that know Hawkeye, they classify Black Widow as his work wife. His work wife, his ex-wife, Bobby, Mockingbird, and his current girlfriend, Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew. And they all come to pay him a visit, and just like, what is going on, Clint? And he's just like, he's out of it. He's just tired and everything like that. They keep asking him, why are there these Russian guys out in stalking, in near your apartment, and they're just like, staking out your place and everything like that. It gets really dire to the point. But they're also trying to figure out, who is this redhead? And of course, Kate is involved in it as well, and she kind of cheers Kate up a little. Kate tries to cheer Clint up and everything like that. It's really funny. It's just like, good God, Clint, snap out of it in a sense. It doesn't really end too well for Clint in a sense. Like, everybody just comes by. I mean, he finally signs the divorce papers between him and Mockingbird, so they're now officially divorced now. Jessica comes by and slaps him in the face. It gets really crazy. But those are the women in Clint's life. Just there. They, they're just there. So we move on to Secret Avengers number 3. Nick Spencer, Luke Ross. This is the introduction of the all-new Iron Patriot, who is going to be a part of this team. And I like this because we finally got to see the real director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daisy Johnson, aka Quake, in this book. Her and Nick Fury Jr. are at this text expose, and she's like, thank you for coming with me, because I don't like doing this shit. This is more of Hill. She likes doing this stuff. And the new aim, the advanced idea mechanics make their move now. They start to make their plans, and the new aim has everything that the old aim didn't have. For example, they have their own base of operations that is recognized by the government now. It's crazy. And they still don't know the motives of the AIM's plans. But what also is dire is Hill sends in some of the members, Mockingbird, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Phil Coulson to go in to check out this base of this old base of operation that AIM used. And AIM has really take up some really big players. We got Suprema, Yelena Belova, the second Black Widow, Graviton, and Mentalo. And I love the line where basically Clint says, okay, these are some major players, but what about where's the big head, little legs guy? Where's MODOK? AIM, it's not the same without MODOK with AIM. And they just want to know where's AIM, what's the motive now for all this? Is AIM trying to put up a new leaf or not? And in terms of the Iron Patriot, it is different because nobody is going to be piloted it, actually. They've realized that it may be piloted, AI may pilot it. But Quake is not really okay about it. She's like, I don't like this, I don't like it. And we also get to see Quake. I love how now she can be able to take her gauntlets off. Like, she has like bracelets like this, and the bracelets will morph into her gauntlets so she can use her powers, so she doesn't like create too many earthquakes and stuff like that. Because remember, she can't really control it without her gauntlets in a sense. And I love that. That was really cool. What also we get in it is another classic character, Jocasta. Yeah. But other than that, that's pretty much the gist of this. Yeah, indeed. All right. So we move on to the last two books. We'll kick it off with the God of Thunder himself, Thor. This is issue number 7. Jason Aaron's still killing it on this book. And Asad Ribic comes back for art. This is part 1 of the new story arc, God Bomb. And, woo! The beginning of the issue, we turn back to a young Thor. He's having nightmares in a sense of his battle with Gorg, and it's him and I think Lady Sif basically, getting it on. They're a young Thor. This is young, brash, young Thor. And then we travel back to the present, or in the future now, where present Thor meets older Thor. And it's really funny because, in a sense, older Thor is telling him all these secrets that, about the future and everything like that. I love how, Thor's like, I hate time travel. I hate time travel. He's like, yeah. And older Thor's like, and you're never going to like it either. It was really funny. I love the scene. Here's the scene that's really funny, where older Thor says to, he says, wait a minute. We're not supposed to, young Thor, current Thor says, we're not supposed to be in this room. This is only for the All-Father Odin. And he says, he looks at older Thor himself and he's like, he's like, yeah. And he says, I'm the All-Father. And you are still just, what are you again? An Avenger? Because his memory is really bad. He's like, I can't even remember a lot of stuff. What are you, an Avenger? Guardian of the Galaxy? The head of that ridiculous little order of yours? And then he says, have you moved to the sun and become a cosmic god cop yet? And Thor's like, what? Like, what? Like, what? No. Oh, okay, I forget. I forget. I shouldn't say anymore. So he's like spoiling Thor's like future or something. It's really funny. But he does get a gist of, Thor gets a gist of what Gorg is planning and everything like that for older Thor. And we see Gorg take younger Thor, goes back and takes younger Thor and brings him to the present and gloats over him and everything like that. And we realize we finally get to see what he's been up to. And we get to see like what a fellow god that Gorg kept alive. Because Gorg wants to wipe out every god. He's like one of the archives of the archives of all the gods. There's action. I know you are a god. What are you? And he finally tells him, I am Sadak, god of, and he's like, god of bombs. And you see the god bomb right here. Look how big it looks, like the Death Star, doesn't it? It's huge. So it looks like Gorg is not messing around, people. He's really not messing around. All right, and we end this. We went with Thor. We're going back to Thor. Uncanny Avengers number 6. Rick Miranda, Daniel Acuna, I hope I'm saying his name right, is the artist on this, and it's Thor versus Apocalypse in the year 1013 AD. And let's just put it like this. Thor is in Scandinavia, he's drinking, he's fighting, brash young Thor, arrogant. All of a sudden, who comes walking through the door? Apocalypse. Knocks the crap out of Thor, and Thor gets into the fight. And I realized Thor, now, you gotta remember, Thor does not have Mjolnir now. He has his axe called Jababa. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that damn name, but it's something like that. And I'm not trying to disrespect Norse mythology, but it's I'm not even gonna pronounce the name of the damn axe. But Thor just is really out of his league here. But Apocalypse is also being led by somebody else, but I'm not gonna spoil who that is, because in the past he's called by another name. But in the future, he's another classic, recognizable Avengers villain. And, it gets really dire there, and to the point Thor is like, look, he goes to Odin, he's like, look, we got to stop this dark figure from, wiping out, I felt him, Father. He's presence, he's evil. We must stop. And then Thor goes into, Odin says, I know about your fight. I saw it, but we can't. Because there's some kind of pact between the Celestials and all the other pantheons. Thor's like, what the hell? Like, come on, we got it. So, being the brash and arrogant, vain boy that Thor is, he turns to Loki. in a sense, or is it Loki? See, that was the thing. People have been saying it's Loki, but you gotta, if you go back, you might get a question of like, is that really Loki? But the fact of the matter is, he kind of gives Thor a little bit of edge, and Thor fights Apocalypse's horsemen. He wipes out their horsemen, and he goes after the big gun Apocalypse. And does he take out Apocalypse? He's able to hurt Apocalypse. He's able to break through his celestial armor that Apocalypse wears. And after that, you think Thor, Thor's boasting to his other Asgardians about what he did, and Daddy ain't happy about it. And basically, in a sense, Thor has caused something that's gonna basically transcend in the issues to come in Uncanny Avengers. But it's also something at the end that I'm not gonna spoil, but it was all a plan to get Thor's axe, that axe that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, because we see it today where his axe is, and let's just say Thor fought Baron Mordo, and Baron Mordo wanted Thor's axe. However, did he get it? He got it all right, but not the way he wanted to get it. And that individual who was like the mastermind behind all this, took the axe. So now it's like dun dun dun. Now, if you want to know who that is, you personal message me and I'll spoil it for you. But I'm not going to spoil it on the review. But it is a classic Avengers villain that is very, very recognizable. But yeah, Uncanny Avengers number 6, excuse me. Very good. Really good. Action packed. Woo. But other than that, guys, this is Mount Vernon Kid. Thank you for watching, as always. I appreciate the love. I appreciate everything from every guy, all you guys out there. For all my 400 plus subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate, and much love to everybody out there. So I'll see you guys next week, God willing, as always, with the next episode 95. And we'll see. I think next week will be a huge list pull for me, as usually always the second week of the month is always a huge pull for me. But I will see you guys next week. And this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time.